Hey guys, this is Rex with Apple Toolbox, and in this video we're going to dive into how Apple products continue to help me be a better parent. Now, I already thought life was crazy enough before adding a kid to the mix. My little boy Elijah is 20 months old now, and the past year and a half has just flown by. Fortunately, we live in a time where technology can significantly help out. For me, managing a full-time job, freelance work, being a husband and a dad simply couldn't be done without the help of the Apple products I use every day. So there are loads of educational and kid-focused apps on the iOS App Store. Even though Elijah isn't quite to the age where he's into apps, that hasn't kept me from downloading a collection of kid-friendly and educational apps for the future. It won't take you long digging around the App Store to realize there's an app for just about every area of parenting you can think of. From children nutrition guides and meal planners, all the way to baby monitors, Apple's strong developer community certainly has a presence in parenting apps. However, my favorite app that I rely on more than any other for parenting is Amazon Video. This may sound like a strange choice, but stick with me. Amazon Video has one killer feature that hasn't been available on any other streaming service, and I can't live without it. You can download any content included in the Prime Video catalog directly to your iOS device and watch it later offline. Now, that said, this past week, Netflix finally announced the same feature, which means Netflix may become just as vital to me as Amazon Video. Either way, this feature allows me to play videos anytime and anywhere without touching my cellular data. As I'm sure you're aware, streaming video will eat up your data quicker than just about anything else. So while I certainly limit the amount of time that Elijah is in front of Mickey Mouse, there are plenty of situations where we just need to keep him entertained. Being able to play all the great kid shows while we are out at dinner or in the car can be a lifesaver. So the Apple Watch is definitely one of the most invaluable devices for parenting on the go. The watch helps me with things like being a safer driver, since I can quickly see who's calling without having to reach for my phone. It's also great for checking notifications when my hands are full, which seems like all the time. I know it may seem like a little thing, but when I'm at home playing with Elijah, I don't keep my phone on me. So being able to answer calls and reply to messages without having to interrupt playtime is awesome. Now, one of my favorite use cases for the watch is when I'm at the grocery store. So my wife and I usually take turns going to the store to give the other some time to relax. We have a shared grocery list in the Reminders app where we can both add items, and when I'm at the store, I can simply pull up the list on my watch and check off items as I go, which is fantastic. Again, this may sound like a small thing, but not having to pull out my phone every 30 seconds at the store to check items off the list and see where I need to go next is unbelievably convenient. And it's a bunch of these little conveniences that make the watch great, in my opinion. In fact, I think convenient is the best word I can use to describe the watch. Is it necessary? Of course not. But it is one of those devices that can make life a little bit easier. Of course, one of the most important parts of giving technology to kids is making sure it's safe to use. Elijah's only 20 months old, but he's already managed to start a YouTube video, play a podcast or two, and even FaceTime video call my aunt after I gave him an unlocked iPhone. So, I've started tinkering with settings to keep my iPhone safe for him to use. And I've found the best way to do this is using what Apple calls restrictions. To turn on restrictions, you can go to Settings, General, Restrictions, and tap Enable Restrictions. You will need to create a password, which you must have to turn off restrictions later. So make sure you remember it, because if you lose it or forget it, you'll have to erase your entire device and set it up all over again to remove the restrictions password. So just be aware. With restrictions, you can lock various areas and apps on iOS. For example, you can cut off access to specific apps like Safari, Camera, FaceTime, which would have come in handy a few weeks ago, the App Store, and even Siri. Restricting use of the App Store also turns off in-app purchases, so there's no chance you are the next story of a parent whose child ran up a big bill playing Candy Crush. However, this section only allows you to restrict access to Apple's built-in apps and not third-party apps, something I hope will find its way onto iOS before Elijah gets too much bigger. Currently, the only way to restrict access to a third-party app is deleting the app from the device and then turning off the installing apps option in restrictions so the app can't be re-downloaded. Other important privacy features are also available in restrictions. A great example is being able to turn off access to contacts. That way you don't have to worry about your child sending text messages to your boss on the weekends. Well, alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you find some of these things helpful in your parenting adventure. I sure know that I have. And until the next time, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.